What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. And today we're going to be breaking down 3 tips for taller wide receivers to be more successful and to be able to create more separation. So the first tip we're going to be talking about is how you guys can combat one of the biggest mistakes that tall wide receivers make at the top of the route. Then we're going to be talking about how you can win on inside release routes over the middle against press coverage. And then we're going to talk about how taller guys can deal with the DB who likes to be physical and tries to get hands. So I hope this video helps you guys out. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to train with us this offseason, we are traveling out to 5 more states across the U.S. for 2-day-long quarterback and wide receiver training camps. So our next stop on our camp tour is going to be Columbus, Ohio. Then we're coming out to Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California. So these camps, they're 2-day-long camps, 4 hours each day. So it is going to be a ton of reps and a ton of work for you guys. We are limiting spots too to only 10 to 12 guys per position group. So you guys are going to get a ton of reps, a ton of one-on-one individualized coaching. So if this sounds like something that you'd like to do, it's going to help your game improve, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our camps. Let's get started with this video. So now, first things first, here we're looking at this route from Mike Evans at the bottom of the screen. One of the biggest mistakes that wide receivers do that are on the taller side is that they prepare for their breaks. They don't understand that their pad level and their stride is what is going to get them open. Because when you're a bigger guy against any DB, right, you're always going to be something I call a vertical threat. So that means that this DB is always threatened by the jump ball, by the fade ball, by that kind of head top catch that everybody loves to publicize nowadays, right? So you have to use that to your advantage. As a bigger guy, you're probably not going to have the crispest break at the top of the route. Yes, you want to shoot for it. Yes, you want to try to get that. But just naturally being a bigger guy, it's harder to change direction, right? It's a lot easier for a guy who's like maybe my size, who's below 6 feet, who's trying to change direction because it's easier for us to get low, be a little bit more explosive. So for taller guys, you have to use your pad level and your stride to your advantage. So on this stop route, right, this goes for any route. This could be a comeback route. This could be a dig route, a stop route like we're running, a post route. You got to make sure that your pad level and your stride says vertical because that is what a DB is trying to read. A DB is not going to be looking at your eyes. At least a disciplined DB shouldn't be. So a lot of people think that, oh, you have to peek back the whole entire route. And then a lot of people think that, oh, well, I got to make sure that I'm not, that I'm running as hard as I possibly can. Yes, that is true, but your stride length is what's more important. Because sometimes as a taller guy, DBs are going to be faster than you. So you might think, oh, how am I going to get separation? It's all about your stride length and your body language. So when Mike Evans goes up into this route, everything about this looks like a 9. His hips and shoulders are committed to the fade. He's pumping his arms. His legs are in full stride. This DB is stride for stride with him, but he is threatened by him immediately off the line of scrimmage with the fade. With your size, you are a vertical threat as soon as the ball is snapped. So if we could get the DB into this position because of my pad level, because of my stride, and I trust my hips and I snap down violently without giving any kind of indicators like raising up, like shortening my stride, I will get separation. You are a vertical threat the second you come off the ball. So you have to make sure that we use that. No indicators on the route. Do not get to this point where we're about 2 yards before the break point and start chopping your stride. You don't want to raise your pad level up either. Now, a lot of people will say, well, how do I change direction with full stride? You got to be violent with your hips. You have to drop low. You have to actually drop your butt down. And it's not about the amount of steps that you take. It's about the amount of time that you can create or amount of time that you can eliminate that's wasted. We want to get rid of all wasted time and all wasted motion when you're a bigger guy at the top of the route. If you could take 6 steps faster than a guy could take 3 when he slows down and prepares for the break, you will get more separation because you actually got the DB to commit his hips to the fade. So make sure, fellas, bigger guys, we have to self-fade with my stride and with my pad level to utilize the fact that I am a vertical threat as soon as that ball is snapped. Let's play this thing again, full speed. Great job by Evans pushing vertical. Great pad level, and then trusting his hips to snap this thing down and create some separation. Okay, so now, this is a situation that we don't cover too much on this page, and this is going to be a dig route with an inside release when the DB plays this thing super well. So this is called using your size to your advantage when you are on the taller side of things. Because if you're on the taller side of things, like you got to be physical, right? Like if you're tall and you're maybe not the fastest guy on the field, you got to use your size to be physical. You have to be able to win the one-on-one situations. You got to be able to make catches over the middle in traffic. You have to win those 50-50 jump ball catches to be able to stand out and get on the the field, right? Because everybody wants the deep threat, the quick receiver, but we also need those guys that are possession guys over the middle of the field. But if you could get separation and get that ball over the middle of the field with your size, it's very tough to bring you down. So let's play this thing full speed. So this wide receiver gets an inside release on a dig route, right? So when you got a DB who's playing it well, there's a couple things that you want to do. Now, this ball was actually broken up because the throw was behind and that gave the DB chance to make a play, but I want to pay attention to this stem, right? So I get an inside release, and let's say the DB's playing it well. Against man coverage, what should always be your mindset? What is something you're always trying to do? You're always trying to restack and get over the top of the DB. So if he's trailing your back hip, you can maybe give him a little fake outside, get the DB to jump outside, and then you got separation. But what if he plays it well? What if he's hip to hip with me? What do I do? And that's what I call this either like chicken wing method or essentially leaning into him with your pad level so we could get some separation at the break point. You have to have a plan, fellas, but especially taller guys. Your separation is one at the top of the route. Off the line of scrimmage, it's about keeping timing with the quarterback and being able to keep spacing. So what a lot of guys will do is that they'll get this inside release on like a dig and they'll just keep running. They'll just run this thing off. They'll think, oh, I got the free release, and then I'm just going to go run to the depth, and they round the cutout. All that does is give the DB time to react, and you're getting to the throwing window too quick. The quarterback expects you to get up to 10 if it's like a basic, and then being able to get back over the middle, right? Get to the depth of the route, and then get to the spot where he needs you to be at. So if you just run there, it screws up the timing of the play, and it could screw up spacing. So one, you want to get back skinny into the DB, but also at the break point, you want to use your body to lean into him. If you can lean into him and use your size, use your weight, use your speed to get him off and be able to get just a step or two of separation at the break point, that is plenty for that quarterback to make a throw. Now, this quarterback puts it behind, which gives the DB a chance to make that play. But if that quarterback puts the ball right here, that is an easy catch. That is easy money, and we did our job. So as a taller wide receiver, make sure that we use our size to our advantage. Now, how would that work on an outside route? Like, let's say this receiver had to run like a 10-yard speed out. Maybe he would attack the DB inside, get him to keep his leverage inside, right? Take the outside release. DB plays it well. He's hip to hip. We lean into him, and then I break it off to the out route. You just have to have a plan. The main thing is my goal is to restack. Number one, my goal is to keep timing with the quarterback off the line. My second goal is to be able to restack, but I also have to have a reaction if the DB is in a good position and I'm not allowed to restack. I got to lean into him. I got to use my size to my advantage to be able to create space. Let's watch the thing again full speed. This is a great job by this wide receiver being able to get enough separation, using his body to get skinny, giving a little lean to the DB, and creating enough space. Just got to finish with a good throw and then a good catch. So last but not least, fellas, when you're a bigger guy, you're going to get receivers who are probably going to want to jam, right? You're a taller dude on the taller side. Receivers are going to want to get physical, going to want to jam because they trust that maybe you're not the quickest guy off the line. Right? So DBs, like, they love to jam guys who don't have the quickest feet, who maybe aren't getting off the ball as fast as the other guys, like a slot receiver. Because if you try to jam a guy with two hands or try to jam a guy real aggressive from a DB perspective, and this receiver is very quick with his feet and he's shifty and he makes you miss, you're going to be playing catch up and that receiver's going to have a ton of separation. So against bigger guys who maybe aren't the quickest in the world, DBs love to jam. They love to get physical. But as a wide receiver who's taller, your pad level is your biggest advantage, right? Just like how you want to use your size to your advantage on a dig route by leaning into the guy, off the line, you want to use your size to an advantage too by staying in an explosive position. So let's play this thing full speed. So this DB lunges at the wide receiver. He does a great job of staying explosive, being able to lean and create separation at the break point, right? He ends up catching this ball, but the clip cuts off. I just want to make sure we get this part right here. So when you got a DB who lunges, who's trying to be physical, even if he's not lunging, even if he's just trying to give you a good pop, if you lean back, a lot of wide receivers, you see this all the time, they never go forward. They always are operating behind the line. Their chest pops up, their weight's on their heels. We can't have that, guys, because if that DB's got any kind of leverage on us and he's moving forward while I'm moving backwards, I'm going to get jammed right off this thing. So we have to make sure that I'm in a good pad level position, a nice strong base. I got a knee bend. I'm dropping my butt down. My chest isn't straight up in the air. If I can get to that position right there, that is such an explosive spot to where if a DB does get hands, I'm not screwed. I'm not going to get jammed 3 yards back. I'm going to be able to shed. I'm going to be able to swat the hands. And if I can do that, I maintain my balance. I maintain timing with the quarterback, because the whole point of a jam in the first place is to screw up timing with the quarterback. And I can get up into this route and make a play. So we have to make sure, if you're a taller guy off the line, do not be afraid of the contact. Do not try to lean back from the contact. Be in a good pad level, keep a good base, and stay explosive so we could get off this ball. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by this wide receiver, utilizing his size, keeping a good pad level, shredding the DB's hands off, and then being able to create separation on this post and make a catch. That's a hell of a rep, and those are the main things that taller wide receivers have to do to be successful. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like to come train with us, 5 different states across the U.S. We're coming out to Columbus, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Los Angeles. 2-day-long quarterback and wide receiver training camps. Check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.